What's up, everyone? So we had some CPI data released this week, so I want to just go over like a little market recap. I didn't end up actually taking any clean entries that won. At least I took an L on AU today and UCAD. It looked well. AU, I broke my rules, and something to reflect on. But UCAD looked like a clean entry for me, but it didn't play out. And so let's go over the CPI data that came out. So we had CPI data on Tuesday, as we can see here. Year over year came out lower than previous, but higher than expected. So this is more what I'm trying to collect data on too, just like what that means in terms of the narrative. I like to see how price opened up, and the dollar kind of pretty much like took off, and reverse dollar pairs tanked. Just kind of in the last Fed funds meeting, Powell was saying, hey, we'd like to see CPI coming down to 2%, at a good pace, a healthy rate. But this was kind of showing that it's not, right? I don't really take in too much of expectations into consideration, but, what happened at the actual news release, right? So news was released over here. And price is coming back for probably maybe a mitigation now, but couldn't really get anything clean in there today. Was hoping I could, but price didn't end up doing that. But as we can see here, we see this ascending channel, and there's a break of order flow down here, and then sellers come in, break this order flow, tap into some premium of this supply here. I wasn't actually looking for sells here because I wanted price to come into more of a premium so I could sell off of, and that's what it ended up doing. I guess you could have, but this was risky because it was like during news. If you have like at least a funded or something you could trade news on, this I guess would have been fine, but it's always risky for me trying to play the open of the news. Technically this wasn't the open actually. Let's see. So this tapped in 10 minutes before news, so that could have been fine, but you just kind of like risk is high at that point. But yeah, it's kind of clean how the market structure shifted before news. It actually broke structure like a day before, and then continued, mitigated, induced some liquidity, and tapped into some premium levels. But something I was just looking out for, possibly a redistro here, but only time will tell. I wanted, this to continue lower here, so this could be a sign of an accumulation if we get higher highs here. I took a loss on AU. Was trying to sell out of this premium, and I broke a couple rules here. I wouldn't wait for a full schematic, a Wyckoff schematic to play out. Got into some early entries. Not gonna point those out, but this level didn't end up playing out that well. Same thing, CPI release, was looking for a mitigation of this to come back lower, because technically it would have followed order flow, break down here, back into some premium levels, back down, but it didn't end up doing that. So this is kind of telling me there's probably a shift, and maybe this wants to come higher into some more premium levels. What is this? Friday. This was NFP actually. So maybe price wants to come into this NFP candle and mitigate there. And then took a loss on USD CAD today. Notice this accumulation occurring. It was actually some nice order flow, but price in this leg is pretty much like, you could argue it's at a premium, but it was coming to a discount of one of these legs. So if we just follow order flow here, this was that NFP play, crazy. You could come back, test down here is like a 50R. Price comes back, mitigates that NFP candle, and accumulates from there. CPI comes in on Tuesday, breaks order flow again. So what I was looking for was price to come down here, which it still can, and still give something valid. But maybe if anything, I got in pretty early. Technically, does he hit equilibrium of this whole range right here? So I think I was just kind of like got in a little early, but time will tell. But I noticed price dipping into CPI candle right here, even like an equilibrium of this imbalance right here. And let's see, price gave a good range, some good manipulations. We have some secondary test, and then I was looking at this as a potential spring. I like how this potential spring had like high volume in it too. After this, you see this green buy of candle. Take these buyers taking over all those sellers right there. And then we have some PPI news coming in and breaking structure. So I was really looking to follow order flow here. And, at first it looked like it was going to get something valid, but it didn't. Kind of sellers just took control from up here. I would say the only really concern was I would have liked price to, break here and then break this level of supply first. But it mitigated supply technically, and then came down, almost gave something clean. But honestly, the buy looked clean for me. Could have reduced risk a little bit better. But that was the play. And GU, let's see GU. Yeah, GU showing some more bullishness as well. Yeah. So, trying to see what this news with the CPI meant this time, right? Because it came in lower than previous, which is good for cross dollar pairs, but higher than expected. So only time will tell what this actually means, and probably gonna be like taking a little step back and letting the market come back to what it wants to do, and GU actually is coming to a pound CPI release right there, but then the dollar CPI release candle is actually over here. So still kind of bearish on these until we see some strength in some bearishness in the dollar. As of right now, the dollar is showing some strength too. As we can see, CPI broke this, and it's just coming back to mitigate more demand. And we'll see if we break this low down here, then there's possible more sellers coming in. But it's just demand after demand. Like, look at this NFP candle, super big green. This CPI candle, super big green, and then you got these small reds. So we'll see. Couldn't get a clean entry this week, but kind of wanted to go over what the market's looking like, digesting the CPI data from this week. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and if I see something valid during the week, I'll try to do a weekly outlook. Last week I didn't really see too much. It was kind of dead, so I didn't do one. This week I felt like, even though I didn't catch like a banger trade, it was good to see and document, really, like, because CPI came out, how'd the market react. We'll see, Friday the 16th, and then maybe, we'll get some good entries next week. Who knows? But just trying to follow the plan and perform, right? Cool. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.